Banks will lend what in terms of what their customer needs, A, and B, in terms of their own structure of liabilities. Otherwise, they will have a challenge from a risk perspective. So if it is, your demand is from the retail customer and you got money which is 3 months, 6 months, 1 year in terms of deposits or savings or current account, that's perfect because the liability matches. But if your customer is a corporate customer or an infrastructure customer, the needs are 5, 10, 15 years, you have a mismatch. So banks will need to see how to intermediate in these sort of situations where what we call a term transformation is required. Now, ideally, the term should be matched, as it were. So the banks would come in for the lower end of these corporate credits, up to maybe 3 years or 5 years, where the loan is reset every year so that the risk is managed. But longer tenors need to be met through other sources, which if you then see between 2000 and now, the early days, 2000, around that period, we did not have long-term savings of a magnitude to meet the needs. So banks were, in a way, makeshift way funding it. But today, with the growth in the insurance industry, pension industry, there are other pools of long-term savings which can be used for these needs. And that shift is taking place.
Your own organization is something that will start doing that. One, what is the status? How soon can we see lending take place? And do you think in the interim, before that take place, that big boom in long-term funding takes place, do you think there's going to be a gap for a few years, or do you think that there won't be one?
No, I think in fact, the need was identified by the government. That's why this bank, NAPID, was set up. And they said that they would like to see a 4 lakh crore book in the next 4 years. I think which is eminently doable given the extent of the NIP, the new investment pipeline, and the monetization pipeline. These are large pipelines, and I'm sure will provide an opportunity. As far as the bank is concerned, the first always 6 to 9 months, maybe a year, is the foundation phase, because you are a bank, so you need to get the policies and processes done. So that has been done, and you have to go through the selection of the CEO and the leadership team, because I am a non-executive chairman, and the others are all non-executive directors till a month back. We now have the CEO in place. We are now 2 deputy managers in place, even as we speak. So given that, I would think that the CEO will now articulate the lending plans. But we had prepared a pipeline during the initial, I would say the groundwork phase, in the foundational phase, which should stand us in good stead. So I would leave it to the CEO to say the actual first loan date.
My last question to you with regard to the developing of the landscape of the banking system that you're seeing right now. You've seen the transformation over several decades. Is this now a landscape that will be populated by very small, very nimble banks? Or do you think that things will go on both sides? There won't be a middle-sized bank. There will be very large and very small banks.
It's a very interesting question. A very small bank will not be able to do justice to the needs of this vast country. And I don't think anywhere in the world it has. A very large bank will have to bring in a whole lot of nimbleness into its own function. So I think the best bet, and what I see happening is, because everybody is smart out there, whether it's the large banks, medium-sized banks, or these new players who want to get into the action, as it were. So I would think it will be a coming together of the newer technologically enabled agile players, the nimble agile players that we are talking about, riding purely on technology, and the older established players who have a brand, who have the resources, and who have, I would say, the sheer, in a way, regulatory comfort that they are doing things by the regulatory requirements, who will need to come together, these two, and that will be the greatest success. So it won't be one or the other. It will be a coming together of these two distinct universes today. Today they are distinct.
So collaboration rather than dog eat dog.
Yeah, there has to be collaboration. I don't think dog eat dog in this can really succeed at all. When you got businesses regulated, and rightfully so regulated,